Greetings, this is Kevin Jefferson, father of the Forex fam and followmytrades.com with trade theory on the British pound and Japanese yen on Sunday, October 1st, 2023. So what we have here is the monthly chart, and I'm looking at price as it's actually in a level one short, actually pulling back off of that. It's above the 5 EMA and 5 period EMA, and I'm looking for price to come back down and potentially test this 800 EMA, which price broke through a few months ago. And so that's kind of the starting premise of my theory as I go through this chart and look for opportunities in price. And so looking at the weekly chart, price is actually off of an uptrend. Yes, pulling back off of an uptrend. And what we have is prices bounce, come through this EMA, and it's actually pulled back off of that. And it's below this angle here, this vector right here. So so price, the stop loss, which I have here, could be set, higher. My preference would be for it to be up in this area, actually, upon looking at it, if I'm looking at it from a larger time frame, so that way it will protect it from price movements. So price could move up here and touch this stop loss and knock me out the trade. But I'm looking, because price is below these two vectors, I'm really looking for price to be just pulling back off of a move and then continuing lower. If I drill down to the daily chart, what we have here is price is actually showing in between these two cross vectors right here. Price is actually a level one long on the daily, and what I'm looking for here is for price to actually push up above this diagonal trend line, this diagonal price point first, and then depending on what it does there after a pullback, whether it's a simple or complex pullback, give a confirmation if it wants to continue long or if it's going to break down and fall short. In addition to the diagonal trend line and the diagonal price of around 182.826, I'm also looking at, we have a horizontal support and resistance line, or supply level, or whatever you want to call it, but support and resistance, we have a horizontal price point to look at as well, and that is right up in here. So I'm looking for price to, let me go to another chart here, I'm looking for price to also close above 183.158 if that happens on the daily as a part of this pullback. So we'd have to have price close above this diagonal trend line, and then concurrently close above this price point right here on the daily, and then I'd be looking for the pullback and retest of that area, either a simple pullback and a drop, or continuation higher, or complex pullback, which would be a stronger indication of the direction that the market wants to go, whether that's higher or lower. And then what I'm going to do is drill down to the 4-hour chart, where we see price is actually respecting this 200 EMA right here. So price has hit the EMA, it's rejected that, and then it's moving back up towards there. So what could happen if it closed? What could happen is if it closes above the 200 EMA, I'm looking for some type of pullback, simple or complex, to confirm the upward movement, and then also be an alert that if I took a position there with it doing that, that I'm actually still needing for price. Before I took a position there, I need price to actually close above this price point here as well. So this 183.383 resistance zone, I'm looking for price to close right up around the 183.327 area. So we have two areas to look at. So I've got the 200 EMA, and then I've got this horizontal price point here. And if price closes above both of those, then I'm watching the behavior to see if it continues higher. There's one third area to pay attention to. This is the trending line for the 4-hour chart. So actually price, I would prefer to get up to the 183.839 area, which we spoke to back on the daily. It's close to what we're talking about up here. We're trying to see if price can break through all of these areas. So we've got one area of resistance to break through, another one up here on this horizontal trend line, and then we're looking for this diagonal trend line to be broken. If this was a part of an upward movement, I need those three things to happen before I'd be convinced that I want to continue to take it long. And so with all that being said, right now I'm short, and I'm looking for British pound to drop in value, but just kind of giving you the counter case and what I'm looking at if price does violate the structure and what I see here, what I would be looking for before I would take a long trade. I would need these three things to happen. So that break and remainder above the 200, this break above and closure above the 183.383 area, or somewhere about there, and then also preferring the price to get up above the 183.839 area and give us an indication that it wants to continue longer as well. And so what that does is actually crossing different price points at different time frames, which gives us a stronger indication that price is actually reversing and going long. I'm going to leave you with one more thing here that a lot of people don't really talk about because maybe they don't know much about it, but I'm going to share it with you here. And this is the thing that also gives the potential for price to continue higher that people may not be looking at. So as price moved up here, pulled back and extended the high, you see that price trended back down and actually created what we call a trend invalidation at level 1 short. Now, the trend invalidation at level 1 short is also called, from my standpoint, I call that staking the consolidation zone. And so what happens is, in most cases, that's where price is going to return to before it actually gives a definitive move in the continuous trend direction. So after it stakes the consolidation zone, in many cases, it will actually extend the low or the high. At this point, it actually extends the low, comes back up through the consolidation zone, extends the high 2 times, and then comes back down into this consolidation area. So what I'm looking for is price to actually come back down and address this area one more time and potentially drop lower, because there's a lot of price areas that have not been addressed over here on the left side. And so that gives me an indication that price would want to go down. But because we're in the consolidation zone, that gives rise to also the possibility that price could continue higher. And that's why I have those three areas of price that I'm looking at on the 4-hour to give me a confirmation if the price wants to actually move higher. As long as I'm trading in the consolidation zone, I have to look at multiple confirmations so that I can make sure that I'm putting myself in the best position to win, or the best position to change my mind if the market is reversing and turning on me. So we're really moving right into the middle of a consolidation area right now, and so that's why it's taking a little while for us to see what price wants to do. Technically, it's actually in an uptrend, but I'm not convinced that it wants to sustain that, and so we're going to watch that. And right now, like I said, my bias is short, and I've got short trades on. But if it does turn around on me and actually put me in a position to consider longs, I have my my little trifecta of price that I'm looking at before I actually get into a long position. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Is price did pull back from where I said I thought it would go back up to this area, hit this resistance point, and then give us another indication of what it wanted to do. So right now, it's kind of figuring itself out, but I think the price is actually just pulling back to this area and then setting itself up to potentially go back lower again. So we'll see what happens. But right now, my bias is short, but I'm also paying attention to the upside violations that could happen, which will put us in position to change our direction. So right now, I hope that helps you out and gives you some understanding of some of the complexities and the nuances that you have to pay attention to when you're looking at taking a trade on an asset class. So to learn more about this, you can go to fmtrades.com, or you can just visit our YouTube channel and learn more about the market analysis that I do. Ask me any questions about the GJ, which is the only pair that I trade right now, and we can kind of help you with your trading journey along the way. So until next time, I hope you have a wonderful evening and happy trading.